Bienvenidos a la mismos Flyways podcast. I am your host, Joey Basayo, and we are at the Game Fair studio, which is sponsored by Ducks Unlimited, and we have one of my least favorite people ever, Shawn Stahl, with us here today.
What was that impression you did? It sounds like you should not be near farm animals.
Well,
Why? Because
he's actually not allowed to be near farm animals.
Because that's illegal.
Yeah.
Oh, bestiality, is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, it sounded like that.
That is
Sounded like that guy that takes some trips to Mexico by himself.
That's his mating call. Did you like it?
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of got you interested, huh?
I mean, to run away.
Yeah. You're not leaving. We've got you completely trapped
because
in.
I'm strapped in.
That's right.
Yeah.
We've locked off all the doors here, and we are at Game Fair.
I'm just here for the free beer, and we're here to roast him, right?
That's exactly
Yep,
correct.
That's where I came.
Yeah.
Just for the record, though, I've never been to a burro show.
See, I don't even know what that is, and he does, and that's a problem.
It's a donkey show.
Problem
in
is,
Mexico.
maybe if he thinks he knows what a bro show is.
Yeah, it's on his bucket list. I promise.
Burro.
Oh, he's been, dude.
You ever been to Tijuana? You ever
he
been to a
runs-
donkey show?
Nope.
Never been to Tijuana?
Nope.
Shit.
Do you wanna?
Tijuana.
Are you a Mexico guy?
I've been one time. I went down there duck hunting.
Did you?
Yeah. Lost
Tell
my
me
hearing.
about that, because we keep talking about going to Mexico and doing a duck hunt. What was
Well-
your experience?
I want to
Where-
do a brant hunt.
Where we went, I don't think Jerry goes back down there anymore. Los Patos Locos, those crazy ducks. Yeah, I don't know if you ever seen that DVD, VHS. Yeah, Jerry Glasgow, he did that Los Patos Locos series, and they shot the crap out of the ducks. But he was right down there by Pintail Lodge, down like San Fernando area and Laguna Madre.
Okay.
You see some of that stuff,
Did it feel resort-like, or did it feel like you were there to duck hunt?
We were there after duck season, so
Yeah.
like literally after duck season.
After their duck season?
After duck season closes in North America.
Right. So
Yeah.
you're in like what, February, March?
Yeah. I looked it up when we got there, and I was like, hey, how come there's nobody else here hunting? Well, the season's closed, and we were actually supposed to go way down, like we were going to fly into like Cancun and then drive southwest to the Guatemalan border.
Yeah.
And going down there with grounds. And after the season got over, Jerry sent his crew all the way down there. We had I don't remember how many, like 100 dozen teal decoys. They sent them down there because
Oh my God.
there's a whole lot of rice down there, and the rice farmers were sending videos to Jerry like they were poisoning blue-winged teal by the thousands because they're eating their rice, like thousands.
Oh
of
my
them.
gosh.
And tried to get us down there. We sent their people down there to get set up and everything. And grounds, I remember he was fired up about going down there because not only could you shoot teal, but monkeys were legal too.
Oh
He was
my
more
gosh.
fired up for shooting monkeys than anything. And I'm like, I can't. No,
Of course he was.
I can't. There's something about shooting
The
monkeys.
sixth grader in me would have cried.
You could probably, yeah.
It's always crazy to me, too, when people when Joe did that iguana hunt.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's
Yeah.
just
Saw
like
Heinz
the
went down to
exotics,
Florida and
like,
shot
I feel like
iguanas.
you're just doing something wrong.
it seems wrong.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like murder, but
Joey's looking at us because, he's like, no, it seems fine.
yeah, Joey got to play with a lizard again. So anyway, we're headed down there and made our plane tickets and everything. It was Tim and I. We were actually filming for Waterfowler TV at the time, and so we had one camera guy. We were going down there, and the guys get down there and they call and said, "Hey, it warmed up and all the teal are gone." So we had to change our flights, all that, and in doing so, it kind of the dates didn't line up with what we had before. It was offset, and the camera guy, he had another deal that he had to do and couldn't do it. So I ended up saying, I'll just take my camera, and I ended up filming it, and we ended up going to San Fernando, hunting Laguna Madre. The first day, and I don't know if you've ever seen some of the stuff with the big giant rafts of redheads and bluebills, and it's pretty wild.
Laguna Madre, is that still in Mexico?
Yes. Well, and it actually comes up into Texas a little bit, but we were in the Mexico part, and you're just out in the middle of it's basically a bay in the Gulf of Mexico. And
Dude.
big wads of redheads and bluebills just winging by.
What do you think is the most slept on duck? Because you've obviously been doing it for forever. Because people will say mallards are nothing, right? And I've always shot like everything that comes into your spread just because that's how I was raised. And
That's me too.
You're trying to get out of there, but I feel like a lot of people sleep on redheads because you can only shoot two of them. But what do you think is the most slept on
Spoonbills.
Spoonbills, dude. I love.
Oh,
shooting
I
spoonbills.
don't.
I will wreck
the
them.
true greenhead, man.
Hey, now we got down. Remember that last year we had? They are not the true. They are the real.
The king. Yeah.
Yeah. The Michigan mallard.
Michigan.
We got down. Remember right there in January, towards the end of January, we had that super huge cold spell. I mean, everything.
The polar vortex.
Yeah, the polar vortex, just in time for when I was going. So
Right
I ended up.
when we were going to Idaho, wasn't it?
No. This was in 2020, right?
Oh.
No, last year.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh yeah.
Okay, continue.
We got
Man,
screwed.
you
Sorry.
better shake. You're lost.
Yeah. So he's totally
Yeah, hey,
gone. We
let
started
me
talking about
Speed up.
shooting.
Speed up a
ladies.
little bit. Speed up.
Let me refer you to the Midwest Flyways Ligma policy. Okay.
Wow, all these big words. Are these in your handbook?
The Ligma policy is a made-up word
Yeah.
policy.
Ligma balls.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so
So anyway, it got super cold. Everything froze up. I mean, all the lakes in Oklahoma and northern Texas. We started off with a boat. I ended up in northern Texas, found a couple lakes, and then it started warming up, and we were busting holes in ice, and spoonbills in droves just would pile in. I mean, it didn't matter. You know how, like, when you cut a hole in the ice and you got to push all the ice out,
Yeah.
you can't leave
Oh,
all
yeah.
the it didn't matter. They just
kept
come out
refreezing.
fly. Yeah. They were kamikaze. We shot like 40-some one day.
oh my gosh,
And I was so
you
proud of
kidding?
it. We did that one time. Yeah, we were a long time ago. It was at a DU banquet. They raffled off or sold a hunt.
Yeah.
2-person hunt. You bid on it, and then you could bring 2 extra people. No,
And
we
they
won
would
it.
pay.
We won it in a draw. So the 2 people didn't have to pay. The 2 people did pay. So we went
Okay.
down there, and same deal. I had a polar vortex. Everything froze up. He calls on right before we left, and he's like, "Hey guys, it's cold. Don't come down." It was like 20 degrees for a couple of days.
Yeah.
For a high. Like, we're coming anyway. You know, we just want to get out, and it's cold up here, and we just go down there. Is there a dog
That's
fight
game
out
fair.
there?
That's
Yeah.
game fair.
That's
dude.
game
Yeah.
fair
As long as he doesn't come pooping here.
for sure. We've got it clipped.
He's calling you, Joey.
So now that we were so rudely interrupted,
Yeah,
sorry
so
about that.
he says, don't come down. We're coming anyway. So we come down, and for starters, he doesn't pick us up right. He doesn't give us a time. We just think we got to be ready before shooting time. We're sitting out there for like an hour. It's after shooting light. He finally shows up, and he's like, well, you know, let's just go on the river for a little bit. And we went on the river, and nothing, it was only open water there, and nothing was coming into us. But we seen these ducks just bombing this sorghum field. So we go over there and we look, and
Yes.
it's spoonbills. And he's like, I don't know. And we're like, yeah, it's fine. We go up there and we bust a little hole bigger in there. We shot a 4-man limit of spoonbills. And we go back in at the hotel. You would tie your ducks up, put your tag on it,
Yeah.
and a lady would come by and she'd pick them. Well, it was
Oh,
kind
nice.
of it's kind of
Nice.
at that hotel. It's Charles Snapp's old hotel up there in Pocahontas or somewhere up in
I
there.
think it's Pocahontas.
Yeah, and you put him out there as kind of a the guide's who's who deal. You know, you'd be like, who are you with? Who are you with? And you pull up and he says, do not tell them that you shot them with Tommy Smith. And I'm like, why? I mean, like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I'm out there dancing, doing this deal. Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking spoonbills.
Oh, yeah. I've had a couple of pretty good spoonbill hunts. So I went
They
with,
do it so nasty.
They do it really nice sometimes.
And people really knock on how they taste too. And I didn't realize what they eat until I got down to Oklahoma. I was in Oklahoma at Sewer Ranch, and they're just like, "Yeah, we don't like to shoot spoonbills." And I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "They eat like ditch water and like sewage treatment
Yeah,
plant
they-
water. They like eat the muck out of that."
Yeah.
I'm like, "No." And I'm scouting one day, and I go and I see the sewage treatment plant, and they are just in there, and they are they are
They live
butts-
in there, bro.
they
them,
are
and if you get
butts
further
up.
south, the tree ducks are in them things too.
Right?
yeah.
Oh, they're
Have
horrible.
you heard that those are making a push?
Yeah,
like further
they,
in the
they are
States?
like you get around Stuttgart and you're just like
Yeah.
hanging out around town. They'll be like, oh, there goes one. Oh.
My
Well-
buddy shot a pink banded.
Yeah, Logan from Camo Retro shot.
He didn't shoot a banded one.
Not a banded one.
No, but they color the bands pink to match their feet for the fulvous and black belly whistling ducks. Or I can't remember which one has pink feet, just because I know nothing.
How many
about
you got
it.
in your lanyard?
Fulvous?
Yeah.
None. I got
0.
none. I've never shot one.
Me neither.
Yeah.
No, but I did accidentally shoot a Muscovy duck one time.
We
were duck hunting. We
We
were duck hunting. I was like, that's the biggest fucking duck I've ever seen in my life. And then I shoot it and I go pick it up and I'm like, this is a turkey. This is literally a turkey. And then I look it up online and it was a Muscovy duck. So it's like a farm duck. Mm-hmm. God, that thing was ugly. But did it taste good? Yes.
Aren't a lot of those Muscovy ducks all white?
No, they're
multicolored.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just thinking of a farm duck, huh?
I'll pull up a picture because that thing literally looked like a turkey and a rooster.
Yeah. A lot of those farm ducks are white, though.
Some Muscovies
no, this is Muscovies are totally different.
I know.
Muscovies look
I
like a white duck and a mallard cross, sorta.
I was like 16 when I shot that thing too. I was shooting mergansers and 2 Muscovies.
Have you ever
to
seen
get your
one?
picture in the newspaper, didn't you? You can
I
see him holding it up.
honestly
Strap
thought
your
it was a
hood
tree
shoots
duck.
right
wild duck.
Yeah.
I honestly thought it was a tree duck.
Yep. You
I was
strap
like,
it to
dude,
the
this
hoodie
is-
or S10. Yep.
Tell everybody.
Yeah.
Right.
Show it off.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's the craziest Spoonie hunt you think you've had then? I know you said you remember there's a couple really good ones.
Those were pretty good ones.
Yeah.
That down in Mexico, they when we did that trip and I didn't run the camera, Jerry and Tim shot a pile. I mean, a pile. Just wore them out one day to the point the guys were like, no more, no mas, no mas. It's a different deal.
Here's
down
the
there,
thing:
man.
if the Mexican guides are saying no mas,
Oh, they were. Yeah.
that's
Yeah. It was like,
you've had enough.
cut them off. It took Tim, I bet you, all of about 30 minutes to wrap up because all he had to do was look at me filming and say something to the effect, hey, thanks for joining us on Waterfowl TV down here in San Fernando, Los Potos Locos. Check us out, on the Sportsman Channel or whatever. That's all he had to say. He'd be like, well, check us out on Waterfowl. Is it waterfowl or waterfowlers? He'd look at me and I'd tell him again, and then I'd point and there go another spoonbill or widgeon somebody, and he'd shoot it, and he'd point. I'm like, he's like, you like it when I shoot them.
You couldn't
It
even
took
get
like
the thing
30
done.
minutes to do this
Unbelievable.
deal.
One line.
Oh, one line. He just kept messing it up. But if you know Tim, that was Tim.
Dude.
Straight up.
My dad and I.
Is that a Spoonie tree?
Oh, it's
got the whole drawer full, huh?
pure Spoonies. And it was out near my cabin. I rode out there at like 2 a.m. and I was like, Dad, you need to wake me up at 5 because I knew I wasn't going to wake up on time. I'm like, you need to wake me up at 5. I'm going to go and solo hunt this spot. It's chock full of ducks. And he's like, okay, sounds good. So I got in, put my suitcase down, passed out on the couch, and then I woke up at 8 o'clock. I'm like, Dad, what the fuck? Why didn't you wake me up? And he's like, you look like you really needed the sleep. Do you still want to go out there? I'm like, it's 8 o'clock. We're not going to kill the birds.
Because where we're from at 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, fuck it. Let's just go out there and do it anyway. So we get out there by 10, and we shot our limit of Spoonies by 10:20. And it was one of the funnest hunts I've ever been on, by far.
You'll remember that. Like, you go shoot a 5-man limit of mallards, you're not going to remember it like you remember that deal.
Yeah.
You go out at 10, and you're done in 20 minutes, and they're just kamikaze.
I went on a hunt. So, buddy of mine, Matt Spoon, works for Max Prairie Wings, and I had taken him to Manitoba a couple times.
Yeah.
He was always like, "Man, you come down. I want you to go hunt with this guy." He was kind of a mentor of mine, Billy Jack, and he said he's a guide, but he's gonna take some guys out. You just go with him, and it'll be fun. They had a whole bunch of rain and a big warm up, and the water's moving through this field. We're right there off of I-40. I could actually see trucks going down I-40. And we take the ride back there, and there's me and 3 guys that Billy Jack's guiding and Billy Jack, and we're sitting there, and we're kind of tucked up in this corner. All the mallards and stuff are dive bombing out in this bean field in the middle. But the spoonbills and the blue-winged teal, we got a big push out of the south of blue-winged teal, and they were just piling in the decoys. And I'm like, what's going on? He's like, Billy Jack, you want to shoot him? Go ahead. So I shoot, and I shoot the perfect limit. I shoot 3 bull spoonbills and 3 Drake blue-winged teal.
Unreal.
And I got them lined up, and I'm doing my break dance
Happy dance.
interpretation. I'm taking pictures. Sending it to people and doing all this. And these 3 guys are looking at me like, what in the hell is wrong with you? And they're like, you really like shooting them? I'm like, yeah, this is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is like, if I was back home, this would be like trifecta. Like, you don't ever get these blue wings and these spoonbills,
looking like
bloomed
that
out like
and-
this. This is late January. This is awesome. They're like, man,
This guy's crazy.
and they were holding out for mallards only.
Oh yeah.
They never fired a shot, just me this whole time. And they're like, man, if you're that fired up about it, like, we can only shoot 4 mallards, and if you want to shoot our 2 others, you can. And I'm like, not today, Satan.
Yeah.
Not today.
Yeah.
This is as good
This
as
is a
it
trap.
gets. Don't ruin my fun. Yeah, I am not getting in this trap.
That's unbelievable,
But hey,
man.
true, and then they never shot a duck that hunt. So I mean, we walked
Are you
out of
serious?
I'm 100% serious.
Why wouldn't they get to the end and be like, well, we'll just shoot teal?
Hey, these mallard parrots are serious, dog. So
What's the
but
deal
we
with
go.
that, though?
But think of the 2 different sides of that. We come
Yeah.
out of there, and I'm trying to high five air because nobody do it with me.
Yeah.
And they're like, doing this the whole ride out.
They're crabby as
Yeah.
hell, and you just had a
Yeah.
great day.
Oh man, I'm like, don't rain.
That's the thing, though. That's what it's about, right? At the end of the day. And a lot of people do get caught up. We just had somebody send in a submission for us to do a debate on green wing versus, shooting green heads only versus shooting.
He's in this, right? Because he's your master debater, right?
That's right. Master debater.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This podcast is brought to you by Ducks Unlimited, and right now, Ducks Unlimited is doing a pretty insane auction. So this is called the Ducks Unlimited National Trip Auction. It's live right now, and this auction, guys, they're literally giving away some of the craziest experiences you can imagine. They have a musk ox hunt. They have some Argentina duck and dove hunting, right?
Yeah.
Unreal, man. They have so many different things on there. So you guys can check this out at ducks.org/NTA. Did you see anything else on there that blew your mind?
You can go base jumping in Moab in like the mineral area, and you can go to Uruguay to shoot crazy ducks. Like all of these things are valued at $2 to $10,000, and it's
Yeah.
just like up to 4 guests, up to 2 guests, and it's just nuts. Like
Yeah,
I
I
can't
mean,
even believe they're doing this.
They have trips in the U.S. They have trips internationally. When I looked at the list, I was like, who even put this together? Like it's all over the board. So go bid on it right now. Bidding is open, and it closes on August 25th. So go to ducks.org/NTA. We appreciate you for listening. But it's crazy, man. Yeah, like you'll hunt with people, and like if you shoot anything that isn't like a Drake mallard, or
They'll get pissed.
they'll get pissed.
I mean,
Dude.
I totally get it. I totally get
certain
it. But
circumstances.
if there's not like a definite plan, if you're just going out to a spot and you're like, we're only shooting mallards, but you don't know what's going to show up there, it's like,
Right.
after the first couple flocks aren't mallards.
Yeah.
And especially in Minnesota, we have bonus ducks. You can only shoot 4, and then you can have 2 of whatever else. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'll shoot those 2 bonus ducks right away. Right away.
And then I'll keep adding to it because I don't care. Like
Yeah.
I'm
here to
not,
shoot ducks.
I'm a duck hunter.
Yeah.
I'm a waterfowl hunter. I'm not a mallard purist
Yeah,
in any sense.
yeah. Do you like hunting geese or ducks better?
Man, I just like going.
You're known for geese.
Well,
Right.
because I worked for Rich and Tone, and you had John and Jim.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not
Duck
stepping on
guys.
their toes, and
Right.
I'm known for blowing a goose call. But I mean, truth be told, all of us grew up in the Midwest, and it's
You
kinda,
take what you can get, baby.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, if buffleheads are on the menu, it's fire them
Oh
up.
yeah, hunting a lot of lakes, whatever's out there.
Yeah. So anytime I get a chance, like when we're filming, primarily we're on the road chasing honkers, but it's always best available.
Yeah.
I like hunting. The one thing I don't like doing a lot of is field mallard hunting with spinners. No, don't get me wrong. It's fun once or twice.
Oh, it's fun. Sometimes.
But after that, it's just, to me, the hunt's not there. After the scout, it's just not there, But I got guys that'll travel with us like to do it. And on the road, I don't like doing it a lot either because now you have that many more birds that you have to tag or gift or something that you have to deal with.
Find someone who wants them.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't want to deal with it.
Do you think they'll ever change the tagging laws?
I really wish.
Or how can we do
I don't
it,
know.
Shawn?
I don't know how we do this, but somebody has to challenge these laws and get them rewritten to go with what the reality is that we live in now.
Well, the modern technology as well.
This stuff was all written for back in the market gunner days and all that. And I understand why they did it, but anymore they make it harder to be legal
I know.
than it is to be illegal.
It's unreal.
It almost feels like they are relying on the gray area of the law in order
to be able to
get
get
us.
to be able to pinch you if they need to.
Yeah.
So Devney, John Devney from Delta and I kind of had this discussion a year ago when they were doing the Manitoba thing.
Yeah.
And he said, they did a survey with the Customs Border Patrol agents of how many people actually bring birds back.
Right.
And it was less than 10%.
Yeah.
The people, he said, that's wrong. And I'm like, well, no, how is it wrong? Like, there's no rule that says you have to bring them back. And for starters, I mean, this is probably pissing people off, but the wanton waste rule was most states that I know of in the North American Bird Treaty Act doesn't specifically state that you have to eat these birds. Like, once you retrieve them, reduce them to bag, and take them home, if you want to eat them, if you want to grind them up, feed them to your dogs, if you want to use them for fertilizer in the garden, you can. But I'm not saying that's what you should do. But, that there's nothing says you have to do that.
Just from a legality perspective.
And a morality also, you want to bring it back. But, I said, they make it so hard for you to do this, where you have to individually.
So difficult.
You got to clean them, leave a wing on. That is very difficult to do. Clean them,
Takes
leave
up
a
a
wing
lot
on.
of space.
Takes up a lot of space. You have to have all of you have to fill everything out with your license, your name, and dot this and the date and all this, and then have the wing readily identifiable.
Well, and keeping the meat
and
fresh,
yeah,
and
your
not dirty and everything going into coolers. It's like, I mean, it's like you have to ziplock the bag around the wing, and it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
The one that really got me pissed off is we went to Canada for the first time last year, and we waited till the last day to shoot ducks because I wanted to bring the ducks back.
Yep.
And I
This
hate leaving the wing on. And there was one day I shot a beautiful blue goose, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna mount that.
No.
And I'm gonna bring these ducks back. So we shot.
Bird
you know
flu
where this
rules
is going.
got you, didn't it? Yeah.
Right. So I left.
Unreal.
I
That's
left
the
the
other thing.
birds. I left the birds completely intact, and then we
And
get
they made
there.
you clean it, didn't
No,
they?
no. They said
throw it away.
You can either gift it here, or you have to clean it here and leave the wing on. And we got to get home. And I'm just like,
Yeah, we were on a timeline. Like, you don't think about that you got to take an extra hour to clean the birds that are planning on mounting.
That's the other thing. The rules changed like twice during the year.
Yeah.
Last year, like, no, you can't. Yes, you can. No, you can't.
It's unreal.
And these birds are gonna fly, whether we drive them across the border or they fly across the border. They're coming.
And
Didn't you have a
realistically,
pintail too?
I had a beautiful pintail I was going to mount too.
Yeah,
I
a
was so
pintail
stoked
and a
about it.
blue goose, and they were so nice.
And then just perfect ducks, not chest shot. Stuck them in the cooler, full body, and we were going to clean them that night when we got home to Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I was just so pissed. And so, think about it this way: how are we going to spread bird flu? Are we going to chuck this dead duck that might have bird flu into a pond full of real ducks, and then they go and peck
welcome
it?
to the climate that we live in.
They
now,
fly
where it
over the border,
But that's like I was telling Devney, and I had a game warden once stop us up there, and he's like, Shawn, I've been watching you guys. I'm like, yeah, you check us every day.
Yeah,
really.
I'm like, I invited you to hunt with us. You're like, we're not doing anything wrong. But he says, even if you're not shooting limit every day, which I'm sure you are, you can't be eating all these birds. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And his eyes just got big. And I'm like, so-and-so? He's like, yeah. I go, well, he gets this, we gift him this much, and his kids, he's got 3 kids, and we can legally gift them. I said, there's the duck lady. Who's the duck lady? And I don't know her name. I said, there's where she lives, but we don't shoot a lot of ducks.
Yeah.
And so it's not a lot. And I said, then there's the Hutterick colony. There's 25 families there. They all like to make beef jerky. And I said, every day, every stinking day we're there, we have one meal that's made. We got a buddy that is an excellent wildlife chef. I mean, he makes stuff. Yeah, I mean, he makes he runs his stuff through a tenderizer, and he makes chicken fried goose.
Oh yeah.
Put the white gravy on it and stir fries, and I mean you cooks it and you don't know that it's waterfowl unless it is.
Yeah.
But I just told him, I'm like, literally, we can't legally shoot enough birds to even try to take back, let alone give everybody. We have farmers that want it. We invite them over for wild game dinners and teach them how to eat this stuff. And so once we've been up there for 20 years now, and they learn, they come over and they learn this recipe and learn it. Like, hey, we'll take whatever we got.
Oh yeah.
There's no point in us trying to circumvent that border and whatever changes there and all that stuff. It's not worth me getting a ticket at the border for not signing my name on the thing. So
and a lot of the like outfitters up there too, they host like community dinners.
Yeah.
So they'll like take meat from the people that are there to hunt, and then they host, every other week or every month or whatever, they host these big dinners and they feed a bunch of people in the community, and it's not that hard.
Think about it too, that in today's day and age, we've got it so good with limits. Like, even in the fall,
comparatively from 10, 20 years
30,
ago.
40 years ago, like, look at the snow goose limit. Even when there is a limit on them, it's 20 in most places.
Right.
And 5 to 8 if you're up in, depending on where you're at in Canada, for honkers, and then 8 for a duck. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
A lot of meat to process and try to bring home. And I think it's a good thing to find people that will eat it and teach them how to because it's a good source of protein. And
for them, it's a resource that's probably going to be around if it's known that they take it, for people coming up there.
You know what's funny, and it sucks, actually, is one guy, this has happened to me twice now, and so I'm done doing it, unless I know the guy really well, is he would let me hunt on his land for geese, and he'd be like, you like eating those things? Do you really eat those? I'm like, yeah, no, I fucking love eating them. He's like, well, yeah, I know, you can go and hunt, as long as you're not wasting them. I was like, no, I don't waste them. I was like, I'll come over sometime and I'll cook them for you.
Yeah.
So I brought my Traeger over there and cooked him for him, and he's like, oh, my God, this is unbelievable, Joey. And he goes, I'm going to start hunting these things. And now he doesn't. Now 2 of them don't let me hunt because they love the taste of it so much.
Yeah, so
we did that one time up in Manitoba, like literally cut the meat off the hoof and just kind of rinse it off and then throw it right on the grill, right on the smoker, let it smoke, get it medium, like a little bit on the rare side, and then slice it real thin, and you see the red line, and then take and make a horseradish sour cream, like a prime rib, and just dip it in there. And these farmers, they had their shirts just covered in blood going down their elbows.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, what is this? That's goose. No way.
Yeah. Oh, dude, and I've seen people do
that way too,
like French dip sandwiches like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I can't remember who made it for me, but someone made me a goose pastrami. That was out of this world.
I've had some good goose pastrami, and I've tried some.
Have you met?
Pastrami?
Go ahead.
The difference between corned beef and pastrami is one is smoked and one is cooked in the oven, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And I think corned beef is in the oven.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. Both good. I've had them both ways.
Yeah.
It's real,
maybe a tiny bit different seasoning on them too, depending on who you are. But
corned beef has this weird seed. I think it has fennel seed. I'm not a big fennel seed guy.
That sounds like an illegal substance.
Fennel seed?
Yeah.
They're like these tiny. It's like capers. I hate capers. They both kind of taste the same to me.
Really, you don't like fennel or capers?
No.
Yeah,
well,
it depends on
every
it's
time.
Snooty, isn't he?
You know fennel. Fennel is like Italian sausage fennel, like Italian fennel sausage pizza.
Yeah.
You don't like that?
Well, they overpower it every time. It's all you taste is fennel.
Too much.
It's too much.
Joey
if you had a little bit.
Critic.
What's your favorite way to eat goose?
I thought
is that it?
I thought Joey'd eat sausage anyway.
Oh yeah, meatballs.
You look at me and you might think I do eat
Big
sausage
meatball.
every day of the
You're a
week.
sausage eater.
Oh, sausage eater. What's your favorite way to eat goose?
Man, I don't have one.
Yeah.
Like I don't like.
What's some go-tos? You're at home.
A go-to on the road is crock pot.
Yeah. Like pulled goose.
But you can do it a couple of different ways. Like we always put it in coffee. A buddy of mine up at St. Lawrence Outfitters, David Roy. So you take the meat, and I look at you both looking at me like, oh, I've never done this.
Yeah, I've never done this.
So you take the goose breast, wash it off, lay it in the bottom of the crock pot, and then take a pot of coffee, the liquid coffee, not coffee grounds.
Okay.
Pour it so it just covers up the goose meat, and then put it in the crock pot, set it to whatever, the temperature, and let it go. And then you have 2 options at about 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours. If you want to do the pulled version, then just let it go.
Okay.
But if you want to do like a beef, what do you call that? Not a beef
stew.
A
pot roast?
Like a pot roast.
Yep.
Then you add your potatoes, carrots, onions, mushrooms in there then and let it go.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's done,
yeah,
people will mistake it for beef. It pulls apart, tastes just like beef. There's something about the coffee makes it
Really?
just like beef. I've cooked it for so many people
it's
like
so
that.
acidic.
So
Could be.
do you cook you cook all the mushrooms and everything in that coffee
Yep.
too?
Throw it right in that. Throw it right in
Just
that
make a
concoction.
hot pot of coffee.
You don't even have to be. It could be an old pot
Sure,
of coffee
but
that you
yeah.
made that morning, right?
Yeah, yeah.
This is typically.
Oh, shit.
So, and if we decide to do the pulled version, then
Yeah.
just let it go until you can shred it with a thing.
Yeah.
And then we'll take half of it and put it back in there and put barbecue sauce in it.
Yeah.
And then serve it. And then the other half, put it in a Ziploc. Take some of that coffee juice. Don't dump it out in the sink or whatever. Put it back in the Ziploc with it because that goose will dry out real
Yep.
easy.
Yeah.
So put some of that in there. Then you can take, if you got a little flat top, you can take that out with you the next day hunting.
Yep.
And it, when everybody's picking up decoys, throw the flat top out there, throw it on there, put some, get some onions and some peppers and whatnot, and make a little
Like a-
fajita taco or whatever. Put cheese on there. So good.
Dude,
Yeah.
you just made
Yeah.
me so hungry.
I know, doesn't it? And
That's
people don't.
fucked.
People say they don't like it. Well,
Yeah.
they just haven't.
One
Had it
thing
right.
one thing I want to do for us this year is I want to do like Philly cheesesteaks.
Well, that sounds good.
The hard part with those is when you
Go thin.
cut it thin
Yeah.
and you cook it, it gets
Yeah.
tough.
Well,
and I've
I
always
think-
like when we do fajitas and do that, we cook the whole breast and then slice it before you put it on.
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
But I think I would just do like in the crock pot until it's coming out and it's just like medium rare.
Yep. And
But
then-
it's been slow cooked in juice and then sliced really thin. So it'd be like kind
Yeah.
of a variation
Yeah.
of that. It's almost like a mix between a French dip and a Philly
Yeah.
cheese. But then you could do like whatever you want, provolone or cheese whiz or whatever you want to do for it. But there's so many things you can do with duck and goose, and it's crazy because one of the things that is like it drives me a little nuts is I think people when they harvest wild game, it's kind of like the forgotten, oh shit, there is a lot of work that goes into the meat that we bought at the grocery store so that it does taste good. Like they don't cut steaks off a cow and then just give them to you and put them on the grill.
we did.
Like
So Bass Pro Cabell is a sponsor of ours, and they sent us some food processing stuff to utilize and push.
Fuck
So,
yeah.
so I got a 3/4 horse grinder.
yeah.
And we saved that February season. We saved all the geese that we shot from that,
Yeah.
and then mixed it with pork 50-50.
Yep.
Oh man! And we just bought the seasoning. We got Italian, Polish, breakfast sausage, whatever.
Yeah.
That is crazy good. And
Yeah,
I'll make burgers out of it. I put it in chili. A lot of times what I do is we got a vacuum seal in a little square and it's real thin, so it thaws out quick. I'll just throw it in a frying pan, froze, and flip it over. And then when it's cooking, I cut it in 4 squares.
Yeah.
And make little put cheese on it, and then I just eat it out of the refrigerator.
Sounds so
It's
good.
so good.
Sounds so good. Yeah,
I did
I
crack
think
a tooth though. You got to watch that. I cracked a tooth. I did that. We cooked some during turkey season in Ontario, and I bit down and I cracked the back tooth, the back corner. And
that's the worst tooth to crack,
It's the
isn't
worst
it?
one, and they thought they were gonna have to pull it, but now it's got a temporary deal. And when I get back from Game Fair, they're gonna go in and put a deal on.
Here's what I've done, and whenever I've cooked duck, only 2 people have cracked down on a BB, and both times is when I was flying through the cleaning process of it. I've found that if you find one with a bunch of BB holes in the breast,
It's got to go aside.
well, it's got to go aside, but then also you can still save it. Now, obviously, if it looks like hamburger, you're cooking that one for the dog. But
Yeah.
you cut it right at the BB hole, and you will find the BB
Yeah.
every single time. But you have to take so much more time on the prep work before you put it into whatever you're making, and then
we did we knew what this was going to be for, so we cleaned it and just throw it in the bag and throw it in the freezer because 2 weeks later I would have totally went through and sorted stuff out and cleaned it all up. But we'll do that next year.
I hate that feeling of cracking down on a BB, and it's not lead anymore.
But
And so
if
it's
you
you're
think
cracking
about
a
it,
tooth.
if you think about it when you're chewing, you just don't bite down all the way and you won't do it. But if you're
Right.
just BS and drinking beer,
Well, it's when you're not thinking about
yeah,
it. But
Well, I had our buddy Jake Whiteman, his fiance cooks some unbelievable wild game. Like, it's insane. So we go all the way up to Thief River Falls, and we'll shoot geese, crane, and then grouse, all in like the same week. So when I was up there, we were trying to shoot cranes and geese. They had already shot grouse, and so she was cooking grouse, and it was like cream of mushroom, and like it was just seriously insane. That was my first time ever eating grouse, and I bit down on a BB, and I'm thinking to myself like, oh no, what have I done? and I realized it was lead,
So you just flatten it.
and I just flattened
Yeah.
it, and I was just like,
Yeah.
wow, if that would have been steel, I would have been fucked. I would have been so fucked.
TSS, and that'll get you too. Really bad.
Really bad.
Not
Oh,
good.
some good tungsten or a little bismuth. Bite down on that.
It's like this past spring, we shot a lot of snow geese in South Dakota, so I brought it to this guy to process it and turn it into chorizo and breakfast sausage.
I should do the chorizo.
Oh my
next
god,
year. Yeah,
it is
that
so good.
Yeah.
But you did 50% pork. Nick Johnson taught me to do 30% beef. And beef is so much better than pork,
I like
in my
pork
opinion.
better, so it just depends.
Well,
But
you
it
know,
tastes
because
like venison. It tastes like any other processed meat. If it's
I want
pork,
to try
in my
it this
opinion.
year too, because like I'll go to Sam's Club and buy a whole ribeye,
Yeah.
and it's like 20 pounds, but I don't, 4 of it is fat.
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
You cut off. So I want to save that when my mother-in-law is not looking, because she likes to take it home and cook it for her dog. But I want to save some of that and just do like a 80-20,
Yeah.
you know, like regular hamburger.
Beef is better with 30 because I've tried 20.
30, yeah.
It is better with 30.
Yeah.
Because you take out the gamey taste of the animal with 30 and 20, you can still taste it quite a bit. I like the gamey taste a little bit, just a little bit of gamey taste, but most people eating it don't want to taste it.
Yeah, I think it just depends what you're going to do with it, too. Like breakfast sausage, I mean,
Pork is king for breakfast
pork is
sausage.
king. And really, the best breakfast sausage I've ever made with duck is sage breakfast sausage, half bacon, half duck.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
But, dude, it's unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's unbelievable. So
We just found this Mennonite pork farmer, and we just got so much pork for so cheap. I paid him $190 for God knows how many pounds of pork.
That's
it was
awesome.
bad. I felt like I was robbing him. I thought it was $290 and he said $190, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, $190. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. And I ran out of there as quick as I could.
All right, so Shawn, this podcast is also brought to you by Onyx, and we wanted to just talk a little bit because you travel all over. Are you wearing an Onyx t-shirt? Let's go, baby. So we
Looks a
wanted
little tight
to
on you, but that's okay.
we wanted to talk a little bit because you travel so
long
much.
trip.
We all utilize Onyx a lot when we're on the road. And when we went to Canada, we were completely shocked to find, how the programs work up there, because I think we were using iHunter.
Yeah.
So
Sucked.
need to get it in Canada. But where are some of your favorite places that you've gone that, either they met expectations, or you could talk about some places you've gone where you're like, people said this was amazing and I just didn't find it to be that amazing.
Biggest shock. How
Yeah,
about that?
biggest shock of a travel trip, hunting.
Biggest shock, I don't know if you remember this long ago when they had the forums.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah,
the
like-
refuge forum, but flock
Oh.
knockers. Remember flock knockers?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, well, Cliff LaForce, they used to be 9,000 degrees, and he wear them Carhartt overalls. And big dude. Anyway, they did a flock knocker hunt out in southeastern Washington where Bill Saunders is from, Tri-City, Kennewick area, and flew out there. And I was flying to Portland, and Ron Latshaw, who started Final Approach, developed all the Final Approach layout blinds and all that. He picked me up and then drove me back over to the east side. And the whole time I'm flying over this, and I'm looking down. I'm like, well, I'm going to be hunting right there. There's a map in the seat in front of you. You're looking down. I'm like, it looks like the moon. Like there's nothing but dirt and little bushes. Like, where are you going to hunt? But right along the river, the Columbia River, and where they could pull water out of and irrigate, there were circle fields. That was the craziest thing. And when we get out there, the fields had so much pressure on them that the birds were actually, they moved out into the, I call it desert, just dry land areas.
Yeah.
Right.
And there would be these little lakes out in the middle of nowhere, and
Slam dunks.
they'd be roosts full of birds. And you'd hunt these open areas in the, whatever you call it, the
It's like
desert.
arid.
Yeah, there'd be what they call cheat grass, just like a little green grass, and you're like leaning up against a little sagebrush bush with a little 30-yard circle deal, and they're just piling in there and just wearing them out. It was pretty wild.
That's
like you
so
could have
insane.
never like taken us from the Midwest out there and said, "Oh, you're gonna hunt here." You're full of shit.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
But it's
crazy.
amazing what birds will do when they get pressure on them. Even
Right.
the ones around that we hunt.
They can adapt so well, which is crazy because back in the day, it seemed like they didn't adapt very well, like in the market gunning days, because they would just throw out a bunch of corn in the middle of Chesapeake and they would just wear him the fuck out.
Well,
And
corn is always the
I was gonna
equalizer. I mean,
That changes the game no matter what.
You put a cooler full of beer and some pretty women, they could probably get all of us too. So, like,
That's
I mean,
true.
that's kind of our corn.
Also,
right?
if you had flown over that,
Yeah.
and then the guy next to you was like, "Oh, don't worry, man, we fill those with corn," you'd have been like, "Okay."
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like
you wouldn't have been so shocked.
Minnesota used to be the canvasback hunting capital of the world.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
we used to have a bunch of canvasback only hunting clubs. And because we had so much wild celery, and once the wild celery was gone out of Minnesota, like the canvasbacks were gone.
Left.
Like immediately.
They go.
And so like maybe them adapting then isn't to Minnesota. They just kept flying. I don't know. But it just, you hear stories like that and how it used to be and how it is now. And then you see ducks today and how much they adapt.
Well, they have everything has to adapt or survive, otherwise they're gone, right? I mean, it's so much has changed with Canada geese.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, in my lifetime, we went from only having 3 or 4 places in the Midwest. You had Horicon, Lac La Parle. There's a small refuge like 10 minutes from my house that would hold 30,000. You had Southern Illinois Crab Orchard area and Western Kentucky in the Midwest. That's really where you shot birds, right?
Right.
You know, they would migrate off of Hudson James Bay, boom, stop there, then move down to the next one. And then all of a sudden, you know, they found the giants over here by the, you know, in Rochester.
Yep.
They took some of them. They
Put them in
transplanted.
Ohio, right?
Well, they transplanted them in Michigan. I don't know about Ohio, but Michigan, Color Bird Sanctuary actually got some. And then they just started, you know, and then
Spreading out.
then by the late 80s, you know, in Michigan, we've got an early season. We were I think we were the first to have an early season in September and a late season in January because they just, you know, just took off.
Blew up.
Yeah.
And the more they took off, the more they started, you know, they live there now. And they started utilizing sewage lagoons and lakes. And now all these birds that are flying out of the north, they start stopping. They start short stopping.
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
not using the Horicons. They're not using the Lac La Parles. They're not using the Todd Farm by the house. They're just spread out. Instead of being, you know, 500,000 birds at Horicon, there's still 500,000 birds, but they're spread out from Superior, Wisconsin, all the way down to Janesville.
A lot bigger
And
square mile area.
Yeah, you go by a Menards and they got a borrow pond in the front, and there's 300-400 of them there, and then you
Yeah.
get on the road and then there's 300-400. It doesn't take many 300 or 400s to add up to that.
Why do you think it switched like that? Because there's more availability?
I just think, well, no, I think they learn to adapt. The local geese learn to adapt, and then they start short stopping the migrators. It just changed the whole. And then they learn how to eat. Like, I remember growing up, like, you never shot geese in January in a wheat field.
like a winter wheat field.
Winter wheat field.
Yeah.
You never did. And never shot them in bean fields at home. It was always corn. And now they've learned to adapt. They've learned that they can get protein out of that green wheat field, even in the dead of winter. They've learned to, you know, eat the beans, and they adapt to survive. They have
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
You know, they learn to sit on the ice, eat snow.
Right.
You know, they pack into a little piece of open water as big as this. They just take turns getting water out. They just need a drink, right? You know,
Yeah.
the refuge by my house, it used to have 25 to 35,000 Canadas in the end of October. Now, at best, when all these lakes and sewage lagoons and stuff freeze, all in northern Michigan, might have 8,000 birds on it. And there's a little creek that runs through the center of it, and they roost in the field next to it, like in the field.
Really?
Yes, yeah, because they just too many of them to get on the water.
That's crazy.
It is, but they adapt. Like, you know, they're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
going any further south. And the other thing that's changed too is like the migration. Used to be birds would pick up and move big stops.
Yeah, big groups.
Yeah, yeah.
Big groups, and you blame it on agriculture or whatever, but they're just spread out more.
Yeah, they're not moving in massive
Yep,
groups.
they don't
They're
have
still
to.
moving in groups, but much smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's crazy, too, how that migration has just continued to sort of short stop a little bit.
And that's where I was going with it. It short stops. The longer it takes, you have to have in the beginning of the fall, you got to have cold front.
Yeah.
Because if you have cold front,
Yep.
warm up, cold front, warm up.
Yeah.
And you get to a certain point of the year after the winter solstice, like right around the first of the year, the end of December.
Yeah.
And if they haven't pushed south and made it as all the way down to Oklahoma, Arkansas, all that, they're not going.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll hunker down and wait. They know their clock switches over. They got to go back north.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, it is, and it's changing pressure. Pressure is a big deal now too.
That's one thing I've never understood. Can you talk on that?
What?
Barometric pressure?
No, not well.
You're talking about hunting pressure.
I'm talking about hunting pressure.
Oh, okay.
But barometric pressure does factor in it. Just birds moving in general. Like,
can you talk about that for a little bit and what you know about it?
Just this is no science whatsoever. But the lower the barometer, the more stress they have in their life to be able to have to go out and feed, and do something stupid and make mistakes. And the higher the pressure is, the more they're likely to fly upside down and come into your decoy spread.
That's so wild.
For some reason, they just feel like they don't have to do anything. It's just I don't know.
It's the same thing for fish,
but
too, right?
it is. But somewhat. But I can almost sense it when I wake up in the morning and you go outside and you're like, the whole crew and the camp
Your
doesn't
knee
want to
gets going.
They don't want to get
your
out.
knee get going a little bit.
Huh?
Does your knee get going? It starts to. I get that.
Twittering a little bit, but like you wake up in the morning and nobody in the house wants to get out of bed.
Yeah.
Nobody's fired up.
You think that's what it is? You think it's the barometric pressure?
I swear to God, it is.
Holy shit.
Really?
And they don't want. They feel lazy. They just don't want to do anything. You jump in the truck. You don't see any rabbits running across the road. No coons. The cows are laying down in the field, and the sun rises and they're just not flying yet. I mean, it just all nature kind of has a way of knowing. You get the opposite. The barometric pressure is lower. You got a front moving in, and you wake up. Everybody's in the house fired up, ready to go. The wind's blowing a little bit, and you get out and then you run over 3 rabbits and a coon on the way there, and the cows are all walking around, and
everything's
you're setting up
acting
decoys. Yeah, you're setting up decoys. You can hear them flying around, and you just,
it's a good day for the barometric pressure.
Yeah.
What do you know about salinier tables?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to let Joey explain that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Because we talked to Roy Carter from CBI Hunt Club, and Roy is like a maniac about the salinier table.
Yeah.
And he was talking all about it, and I've tried to research it. And
You're talking about the moon rise and set and full moons and all that. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, it's different, I think, than that. I'd have to legitimately look up an exact definition. I looked it up one time, and me and Joey were on the road, and we were trying to analyze and dissect this, and we were like,
I was really trying to understand.
We need to remember when we bring people on here that we think are very accomplished hunters. I'm like, we need to ask them about this.
Then.
What's that?
Don't ask me about this then.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. No, the salinier.
I'm gonna look it up.
I
have to look it up and send it to you.
Don't tell me what it is. Tell me what it is.
I don't know. I legit have no idea. I can't understand it.
I remember. It has something to do with how the moon and the sun correlate with each other.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
The more the moon, if the moon sets as the sun's rising,
yes,
that's the peak time that you want to be out. The moon rise and moon set are for fishing is a big deal too, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're a big smallie walleye guy.
I just like to catch whatever, but no, you do want to watch that, and I watch on my trips when I schedule trips out because I have to guys are taking off work and doing this. We got to schedule this. We can't just go, oh, it's snowing in Fergus. Let's go. The ice is on. We can't do that. We got to go. Okay, on November 9th, we're going to Fergus, or December 3rd, we're going to Oklahoma. But I watch the moon. I watch where the full moon is.
Guys, this podcast is fueled by Outlaw Mile High Light Beer. It is fueled. And you know how nice it is to have a beer while you're doing a podcast or just talking with your buddies? You need a beer while you're doing it. This beer is so good. I'm so happy with it. And guess what, guys? It is now available in Minnesota, and that is amazing. It's been available in Iowa and Wisconsin. So if you're in the Midwest, it is available by you. If you want to see where they carry it in your state, you can go to their website and they have a map for it. I'm a huge fan of this beer, and I know you will be too.
Go check it out. Yeah, salooner table, salooner forecast, all that stuff. Yeah, sun and moon.
Like the September, October, I will run to the moon. I will go to the full moon because that's when you've got birds pushing south. After that, the full moon's effect. like a full moon in January is horrible if you're hunting around that.
Yeah.
Especially in the northern latitudes, the birds won't move. Like especially on a high pressure day, they might fly 5 minutes before sunset.
That's so
Sit
crazy.
all day and fly for 5 and go out for 30 minutes and feed.
Why is that?
Well, I don't know.
This is what you've
Just the
noticed.
way birds
But it's
are.
reality. I mean, we know that's what they do.
That's
You
what
know-
you've just noticed in how many years have you been hunting seriously?
40 years probably.
40 years.
So, but you know, in the late season in January, if there's high pressure, there's no wind, sunny, don't even bother going at home because they're not going to fly till shooting time.
Yeah.
But if there's a full moon, but there's a big storm system flowing in, or coming in, you can do that. But if I'm going on a trip, I'm going to avoid that full moon later in the year.
That's crazy. It's just
So
crazy how
after
that stuff all
Halloween-
works.
So after the Halloween full
Yeah.
moon,
Yep.
you're
After
not
the
chasing
hunter's moon, yeah. Yep.
It's wild to me how all those things can actually affect the differences in your success out in the field, or like you said, like wasting your time going out when it's just not going to happen. And
new moon is the best. I like the best as a new moon. It's the darkest at night, so they're
They're
calm.
not able to feed.
Yep, they're not
Yeah.
able to feed. They're yeah.
So I got a quick question for you on calendar versus storm migration, and then full moon. Right, you're in Michigan. How often are you in Michigan for that full moon right around Halloween?
Half
Or
the time.
are you going all over the
Half
place?
the time. That full moon doesn't always fall on Halloween. Sometimes it's a lot. Yeah.
What do you think is a bigger instinctual moving agent for birds? Do you think it's calendar?
I
Or
think
do
it's
you
both.
Think
I think it's both. You have calendar birds that just pick up and move. I mean, that's proven with the.
well, it's
satellite
kind of like what you
transmitters.
said earlier. Now they're not moving; they're doing what they want to do. So some of them are moving with the weather, and some of them are moving with the.
Yeah.
You know?
There's a little bit of both.
Because it's like every over in western Minnesota by Lac qui Parle, right? That lake, those two lake systems right there.
Yep.
I've been hunting out there my entire life, and every once in a while you'll hear someone killing a old squaw, or they'll kill a scoter or whatever, and it's like you did not need to migrate on that east storm,
Well-
and is that a calendar migration?
No, that's a probably it could be, but they could be affected by upper level winds, and people get confused.
Oh, like they're that high up?
Yeah, people get confused with the wind direction down here. But start talking to pilots. There's a different wind up above than there is down below.
How high? When does it start to switch? About 15,000,
I'm not a pilot.
10,000?
I
You
don't-
look like a pilot, though.
Yeah, well, a pile of what?
Pilot
That's kind of the
trash.
Ligma scenario
Yeah.
there earlier.
Yeah, no, it does change and affect stuff, and they can, the wind. If they meet a front while they're migrating and the wind changes up above, it'll force them to stop.
They'll just drop altitude?
Yeah, they'll just stop wherever they're at. They can't. It's they're wasting too much energy trying to fight this wind. They just stop.
That's crazy.
But I watch. So I got an app called Windy.
Yep.
Windy.
Yeah.
I use Windy,
TY
too.
or whatever it's called. But I watch that religiously, especially waiting for molts. Especially you want to see that first, some kind of wind coming out of and a lot of times where we are in easterly wind is a better wind for molts coming off of James Bay.
How often are you getting those over by you?
What?
East.
Not a lot, but
Yeah.
more
I was
over
gonna
here.
say,
Like
we
if
never
I'm
give 'em.
if I'm in Manitoba in September, I'm watching that because our migrators from up there majority of them do not come out of the north. Even the snow geese, they come out of the east northeast.
Coming from Vancouver?
In Manitoba, they're coming from Hudson Bay.
Okay.
Yeah, Hudson Bay, James Bay. They're coming from the east northeast, and
So you're waiting on an east wind, pretty much, if you can
an
get it.
easterly wind,
Yeah.
something with. Or
Northeast.
light wind, no wind.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in northern Ontario and watched it's just south wind, and they should be you're just waiting, and then all of a sudden the wind just kind of lets up a little bit, but it's still blowing out of the south, and they
Yeah.
just pile out. They just gotta go. They know they gotta go.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
And you guys get a really good push molts in Michigan?
Oh, we get we get what you guys get.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, think about it. We're so far north, Michigan and Minnesota. We're getting,
Yeah.
you're getting the Iowa, the Missouri, all them birds that are trying to get back down there, right? Kansas, and we're getting Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky, Illinois, those birds. where we're at. So yeah,
I'm just gonna pull up a map real quick.
yeah. I forget how many that fly through, but
Oh shit, you're pretty much even with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, yeah.
But you're a
Pretty
lot
close.
closer to Thunder Bay and
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so wild to me, just in all the migration stuff, and it'll never stop changing. I remember we had Stan Guzzi on, and he was telling us that when he's guiding clients in Kansas, his favorite days are reverse migration days.
Oh yeah.
When they get a little south of him,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it warms back up, and oh shit.
Have you ever hunted the reverse yet, Cal?
I've never hunted the reverse.
It is remarkable. It is so cool.
It's really cool. Depending on where you're at too, you're getting, like for Canada geese, you get some of the subadults is what you're really after, not the ones that are paired up ready to go. It's the subadults that are just they're
just
going
wild.
north, but they're not in a real big hurry. They're just gonna check out this party and that party, and then
They're like
they end up taking a
teenagers.
dirt nap. Yeah,
They're like teenagers. They're
Socializing.
not ready to get married yet. They're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are really good. Someone explained
the
it the
roots.
exact same way. Subadults.
yeah,
And I was like, oh, so they're like teenagers. He's like,
Yeah.
exactly.
pretty much.
It's pretty sweet.
It is so cool. But even if you can call in those pairs, those mating pairs going back north, that's like the coolest feeling in the world.
We had that February season back home this last year, and it warmed up. Like the lakes were all open in February.
Oh God.
And the first 2 days, it was just unreal. And all I could get was me and another buddy in his 5-bird limit. We're just on the water. South wind, coming.
Oh,
And
that's
then-
right. You were hammering them on the water.
it was pretty awesome. Yeah. And then the third day we're out there, and there's 3 of us, and on that lake, I could count 23 pairs of geese on that lake. They wouldn't have nothing to do with us. Like they'd swim around and they'd see another pair and they go fight them. I had like 2.5 dozen decoys out. I'd have done better putting a pair of decoys out there,
Right.
Yeah.
and they'd come swimming trying to fight.
Yeah.
But I could see them. I could see 23 different pairs that I could see.
It's unreal.
And they'd swim. They'd check out this little cattail, a muskrat hut.
Yeah.
And they'd fight and run the other one off. So it can get, depending on them warm up days, can get pretty tough with them pairs.
Yeah, it was really hard because I've hit the reverse in Nebraska, Oklahoma, Kansas, and
You want to pick at the ones that aren't from there.
Right.
You're just looking for a new party.
yeah.
And somebody cool to hang out with.
but
New
the
in town.
reverse is like the coolest thing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands. Just
That molt's pretty special, though. That molt migration is pretty special.
and I don't know what it is about it. It's like with the 2-3-year-old geese before they're mature to breed, and they head back north.
Yep.
And then those are the ones that are coming back south. So you will shoot bands from Oklahoma, Kansas, Iowa, Michigan.
And that's what makes
Everywhere.
Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan so good, because not only is it the birds that we raise here,
you're getting everybody's shit.
but you're getting everybody's that are going by you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The craziest one that I've ever heard being shot in Minnesota, banded, was from Connecticut.
Oh well.
That's
I'd be
migration.
curious to know if that was a male or female. Most of the time, it's a male.
I honestly think it was
Most
a
of
male.
the time, because the females tend to go back to where they're from.
Yeah.
And then the males up there,
Bachelors.
when they're up there, running from polar bears or meeting new chicks and hanging out and meet this pretty girl, and she happens to be from here or wherever, and end up over here.
Yeah.
But that's good for genetics and
Yeah.
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 Spread the love a little bit.
Less incest.
what's that?
Less incest.
Yeah, that's a word he's very common with.
He's very comfortable with it.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Mhm.
Slides right off his tongue.
I watch a lot of Game of Thrones and House of Dragons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes him feel right at home.
Yeah, boy, he's got a lot of free time.
Yeah.
I do not.
I know,
I got
dude.
2 kids now, Sean.
Have
no free time.
you practiced making a boy yet?
I have a boy.
Oh, you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I got a 5-month-old son now.
Oh, I thought this one was a girl for some
Nope.
reason. Oh,
Nope.
You're not going to raise it.
First
as one
one was
are
a girl. It's unbelievable.
you? Hey, it's Minnesota. You probably got the
Dude, Tim Walls is running for VP
Yep.
now.
Yep, you got the pads
Golly.
you got the pads in the boys' bathroom, right?
Whatever you need.
Unreal, man. It's so upsetting. But there was one more question that I had for Sean. We're at an hour. And so there's one more question. Did you have another question for Sean as well?
I think I'm good.
Guys, this podcast is also sponsored by First Light. Let me tell you, I cannot say enough good things about First Light, especially about the rugged wool and all the new waterfall products that they're coming out with. They've just came out with a bunch of new pairs of pants. The 308 pants are amazing.
Primer jacket just came out.
I cannot say enough good things about First Light waterfowl. Be sure to go to their website, firstlight.com, and check out what they have in stock. I actually just gave a calling lesson to one of your buddies near wherever the hell you live in Michigan. Where do you live in Michigan?
Southwest.
Southwest?
Yep.
Not specific. Good.
60 miles up, 14 in.
Nice.
It's
And
pretty specific.
he has gone to you for calling help and all that stuff, and it got
Apparently
me
I
thinking.
sucked, and then he went to you.
Well, no, I think it's different because I'm nobody and you are Shawn Stahl.
No, we're
you
all
know?
not really. But anyway, well, I am technically. It
I'm
says it in
not
my
Shawn
life.
Stahl.
Technically, you
No,
are Shawn
yeah.
Stahl.
I'm not ice
the way.
Got me
baby.
on that one.
I'm not ice eyes Shawn. You know. But I've been giving this advice to most goose hunters because I've given God knows how many goose calling lessons.
Are we
now.
in the second hour yet? Because this is taking a long
I
time.
know. He's setting it up. Setting it up.
Yep. Go ahead. Redo it.
What do you think is like the most important advice for someone who's trying to get better than average on a goose call?
Well, for starters, you better have a solid foundation.
Like know how to.
A solid foundation of how a call operates, how to break it over, because so many people don't, and you got to try to break bad habits. And the longer they go trying to figure out how to call with these bad habits, the harder it gets to teach them. And I've had people that get it right away, and some people it takes months to be able to get it. And I won't go on to the next lesson until they can physically pick up a goose call, hold it like a Coke bottle, not with their hands on the end of it, hold it like that, blow clear air, and just do the and be able to do that 10 times in a row. If you can't do that, and it pisses some people off and they don't come back, but to me that if they don't come back, it means they weren't committed enough, and they don't want to do it, and then they can call Joey and he can go from there.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, I mean that's the do that and do it 10 times in a row. Learn the foundations of it. If they can do that, then we can teach them how to do all the rest of that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, the thing that I've been teaching people is they want to learn a cadence or they want to learn a double cluck or a quick spit moan, whatever. And then I'll ask them to blow their call. I'll be like, how do you want to learn how to call? Do you want to like get really good at it, or do you just want to get enough to kill geese? Because I don't want to piss them off either. You know, like I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste your time. And almost all of them will say, no, I want to know properly. And so then I'll like half the time I reteach them how to blow a call. It's like anchor your tongue, do this, whatever. Take it from your diaphragm. And people always just want to run.
Oh, 100%.
They want to run and run and run. It's like, no, dude.
Slow down.
You have to slow down. And if you can't do it 5 times exactly the same, then you can't move. And if you can do it 5 times, record yourself, listen to it. If they sound exactly the same, great. Now try to get faster and faster on it. If it sounds like shit, back off, slow down again. And then you have to do that for each and every single note.
I do each and every single note and hand position, because that's why when I teach people, when I first started, it was how to put it, how to hold it, put it up your mouth, hand positions, and then push an air in it. Yeah. Well, that's too many.
People rely on it.
There's too many variables that affect the sound output, right? So a short reed goose call, when we first started blowing short reeds, nobody thought you could blow it without your hands on it, and now obviously you can.
Yeah.
Well, flutes really relied on
it, and that's why, because we're all making the transition, right? And take all that out of it and teach them from the start how to do that and operate it, and then when you add it, you can take out those variables.
It's easier.
It's 100% easier. Yeah.
Well, and then I've got a couple of guys. It's probably like 30 guys now that are really taking it seriously, and I'm not charging them. Just because they send me a video, I send them video back, and it's not like I can't charge for that. Yeah. And then they get to this point where they want to do contests and whatever, and it's like, cool, take your hands off the call. Yeah. And they're like, what the fuck? Yeah. I'm like, I know. It takes way more area to focus on your tongue snapping more, everything.
Tone, guttural.
Well, no. It's just like you're focusing on your air and your tongue.
Your operation.
If you can,
the mechanics.
It's so much harder to break over the call without any back pressure. It's so hard. And if you can do it with that, then when you put your hands on there, it feels like a breeze. It's like a workout. You know, like if you lift super heavy weights all the time and you go down to lifting 20-pound weights, it's like this is nothing.
No, I did several years ago. I did a YouTube clip, just a 5-minute 101, and it's had a bazillion views. And I always, if somebody comes like here to the booth, I'm like, all right, let me hear you call. All right, I'm gonna take your hand, hold it like this, and then just do the hoo-ick, and blow the call, and then go watch this video and learn from there.
Yeah.
It's just because they come to the show and they want, and some people they want to call just to show off. And then you got to try to,
then you got to wonder, you got to decide.
Well, you got to let them down easy
advice.
and say like, well, if you want to, do you want to be better? What's your goals here? Because if you do, we're going to have to break you back down to the basics.
Yeah.
And go through basic training again.
Yeah.
Right. And I feel so bad doing that to people, but it's like, how do you want to do it? Do you want to get to where I'm at, or do you want to just be able to kill geese 1 out of 4 times?
And the hard part for some people to grasp is that to go from 0 to 60, you can make pretty good progress in a short amount of time in a couple of weeks, but to go from 60 to 100 or to 70 might take months, might take years.
Yeah.
And especially the contest calling, to be able to develop that full volume and that hard crack in the call. Some people they spend a whole lifetime trying to chase that sound and get that feel, and just don't ever come up with it.
Right.
It takes forever.
Become pretty good goose callers along the way, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, definitely for hunting.
Absolutely.
Contest calling is kind of fun.
Yeah, it's a different deal.
It's
Yeah.
I don't despise it. I mean, that's kind of how I got in the industry and got known for it. But, man, I despise listening to contest routines anymore.
Especially when you're judging.
Yeah. I mean, I do. It's giving back to the sport and whatnot, and
of course,
giving feedback. I'd rather give somebody lessons at the booth than try to give notes. That's the hard part too. Like for contest calling, like they want to know, Well, they're asking 5 people's opinion. Most of the time, them 5 people can't stand up there on the stage and do what they're doing at that level. So you're listening to them. Well, they are the geese. They that you're calling in the field tight. You know what I mean? They are the judge, right? So then it plays with your head, and you go through a stage as a contest caller where you're chasing notes, right? You're chasing notes, and you're trying to make these changes, and you're just all over the place instead of trying to stick true to what you pick. One mentor, whether it's Joey or you or Scott or Kelly Powell or whatever, me. Pick one mentor and stay with them. Because if you try jumping around, you're just piecing and grabbing stuff around, and it just doesn't. It takes too long.
Yeah,
it takes too much time.
Yeah,
you start listening to everybody. I
Some good advice for your buddy who's getting lessons from you and now from Joey.
No, Joey's probably better for him. No, he's a cool dude.
He's a great dude.
But you end up you chasing notes and you're trying to do this and do that, and it just. I never was one that wanted to know anybody's feedback. If I did bad, I pretty much knew what I did. And I would listen to what's winning and try to decipher why that's winning in my head, not, reading birds, read judges.
Yeah.
You got to do that.
It's crazy.
And you got to stay, with contest calling, even as far as it's evolved, there's contest callers that can do more on a call. You can call, like in the field, you can overcall in the field. You can overcall on the stage. And I mean by overcalling, you can call over a judge's head. Like you're doing stuff on there that they don't comprehend or say, oh, geese don't make that sound. Well, if you actually did listen to live geese, you'll hear them murmur, cluck, purr, whistle, peep. They make all kinds of sounds, so don't give me that geese don't make that sound. But you can call over the head of judges, and that could be either a hero or a zero score.
Yeah.
And you're looking for consistency. You're looking for beating the person that called before you or after you, or 2 of them, beating those, getting on the podium, being in the top 5, letting the judges put it in their hands, but not try to do anything that, like when you're field calling and you make that one note and you're like, oh, they kind of turn the wrong way. Yeah, same deal on judges. Save that stuff for practice, save it for your warm-up, let them know you can do this wild stuff, but then go in and give them the straight heat.
Yeah.
Give them the juice during the 90 seconds.
throw that 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Sometimes
Throw it
you
right
just-
down the middle.
That's right.
Yep.
I found this really fucking cool note that I actually want to show you after we're done. And you should have seen what it was doing to the geese in Kansas. And they were telling me, yeah, we don't kill geese out of this pit. You know, they just fly and whatever. And everyone's goose calling, and I'm watching them. No wing flutters, nothing. I did this, like, weird buzz deal, and they instantly started spinning. And I'm just like, oh, shit. And I just kept doing that note, and they kept clucking.
Why? So why do you think that is?
I think it's because it's different.
Bingo.
Haven't seen it. Haven't heard
Bingo.
it.
Bingo.
No, geese definitely make that sound.
Yeah, they
I
do.
know, I'm just saying
Yeah, they
from...
But everyone's
But I
clucking
mean, a
and
spec,
moaning.
if you're doing that to a spec, you go, bop, bop, they're out of there. That's what they do to each other when they're gone.
when they're pissed.
But no, but it's being different. Like, we all do the same stuff. Like, I mean, what do you, geese, call, flag. You know, everybody does it. Nobody just like, oh, geese, all right, no big deal. Let them fly at you. You know, I call less today than I ever have in my entire life of hunting. I call less today. And that's from hunting experience, and it's from watching live birds in my yard at home and how they act and react to other birds. And the way we as hunters think birds, no, that's not how they talk to each other.
Yeah.
So I call way, way less. And I think it comes down to they get condition smart. They're used to being called at. They're used to being flagged at. You know, they're coming at that pit. Every day they get called at. They just go right around the edge. Just keep going. You know, I'm not saying it works every time, but don't call. Just let them come in.
Right.
Yeah.
Let them, and if they go to fly by you, let them fly by a little bit. Then hit the flag and just start doing some double clucks. Because,
Get
you know,
them
they have a
interested in
270-degree field of vision. Like,
Dude, geese have like 340, which is
Is it 340 or
insane.
I thought it was 270, but 340. It's not 360.
It's over 300. I know that. It's insane.
I think you're right. But think about that. So, you know, you let the flock get a little bit past you and you start hitting the double cluck and start flagging a little bit, get that. And what you're trying to simulate is some birds in the back of the flock broke out and start coming in.
Right.
And you get that disarray they get them all disorganized, and then they start circling and come in. I've had that work so many times, just not calling until they get past you, hit the flag, double cluck.
Well, that's what Tim taught my dad out of La Quaparle, because La Quaparle back in the day was just so much pressure. And so they would let birds fly way past him. And then all of a sudden, Adam Rometta and Grady Stevens would just be like hammering him.
Adam
But
Rometta
they'd wait.
Little goose hunter.
They'd wait like 100 yards, 200 yards. And then they just fucking hammer
Yeah.
him.
It says
And they come
online
in.
that their range of vision is 335 degrees.
335.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
But if you can get in that peripheral where they see the motion, they hear the, you know, and I've had it work a lot of times.
It's crazy.
More times than blowing your nuts off at them from the time you see them.
You
Right.
never think about that when they're flying over you either.
Well, you're
And,
so
like,
anxious.
you're so-
I'm letting this
Yeah,
opportunity
patience,
get
patience.
past
I am
me.
way more patient now than I've ever been in.
Yeah.
We got to get on a goose hunt with you.
All right.
Yeah.
I got to learn from you.
Man, I don't know that. Yeah.
Well, we gotta hang out with
more,
you.
Yeah.
You know more than me. That's for
I don't
sure.
know about
I would
that.
love to.
No, man.
Duck
Hey,
hunting twice.
I'm telling you what, Minnesota's full of a hotbed. It's like the new Southern Illinois, where, you know, like Rometta and Grady and all them are from.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have geese down there. Now you guys got all the geese up here.
Yeah.
And I mean, there is a lot of really, really good goose hunters around here. And that's the other thing that's funny. You know, everybody thinks, oh, I travel around and this and that, and I know, you know, we got these hard geese. We can't kill them. You need you to come here and kill them. I'm like, what makes you think I can kill them? If you can't kill them, what makes you think I can? Right. You know, but I mean,
Different tactics, calling strategies.
But I go through this if then but if, and I ask, like, what have you been doing?
Mm-hmm.
Big spreads, little spreads. How you hiding? Edges, middle. You know, how far off the roost are you hunting? X's? Are you hunting traffic? And how are you calling at them? What are you doing? Are you waiting? Are you calling right away? Doing all that? And you kind of build, okay, I understand what's going on here somewhat, and then hunt a day, and you can kind of make some adjustments. You know, go from a great big spread to a little spread, or a little spread to a great big spread.
Differentiation.
Yep. Try to be different. What's everybody else doing? You know what? You know, you're up in Fergus. What's everybody else doing?
They
in their
got
pits? They hunt
2,000 plus
but-
Bigfoots in
Yeah,
pits.
that's what he's
but
saying.
go hunt 400 yards down the road with 18 Bigfoots.
Right.
You
in
know,
layouts.
yeah.
On a field edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do something different. They get condition smart every day.
For sure.
Mhm.
They fly out, they get pounded on. You know, so after 2 days of getting pounded on, they fly around.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Dude.
we only prey on the stupid ones, honestly. I mean, we do.
Oh,
That's
for
what
sure.
we do.
No,
You know,
100%.
It's very rare
and
you
if
kill
you don't
a-
if you don't have some factors in your favor, like the best time, like everybody says, resident geese are so easy. You know, blah, blah, blah. No, they're not. They're
Yeah.
some of the hardest birds. You know
They
why?
know.
Because they know where every safe place is.
For sure.
And especially after September, whatever, ours opens on the 1st. By the 3rd,
Same.
even the dumb ones don't know. So when we wait for the molt migrants, the new birds, we're always waiting for freshies, or some sort of a factor, a heavy wind, low pressure, you know, snow, something to put some stress in their life to make them have to do something they really
Maybe
know they
wouldn't
shouldn't
do.
do.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, but with global warming and all that, it's less and less these days. You know,
I bet you we just have a horrible winter.
I bet
this
it's
year.
terrible.
guarantee you
Hey.
it's going to get cold hard.
We're at
Yeah.
Game Fair and it's what, 70 degrees high
Yeah.
today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
It's
gonna wear the
August.
sweatshirt all
Get ready.
day.
Yeah, 65 degrees
Buckle
right
up.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's
thank
unreal.
you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's awesome.
It's always a blast having you on,
Absolutely.
and I learned
Cool.
so much.
Yeah.
I do.
We'll have to have you back every year and we'll just keep updating the how much does Shawn Stahl know now tree.
It doesn't exponentially increase, though. Sometimes it goes down.
That's sometimes you unlearn a bunch of
Yeah,
stuff.
it goes down as fast as Joey.
It's true. I go down pretty quick. I'm a slut. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Go follow Shawn and RNT. And thanks again for
Hey,
coming
one
on.
more thing, by the way.